G, get a book out and read together. Today we're going to talk about the reading components and how you can help your child. The first one is going to be fluency. Fluency is how well your child says the words together and with fluency, and how well they speak them, and if they come across sounding as though they are a sentence and not word for word and choppy. And so in your packet, you should have a Hasbrock and Tinsdale oral reading fluency data sheet. Within the sheet, you'll see that there are all grade levels listed except kindergarten. Kindergarten does not measure fluency yet because these students are just learning the alphabet, the sounds that go with it, and just beginning to learn to blend words, and they learn all of their sight words that year. And so in first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth grade, you will have a fluency goal. You will notice that in the middle of each one is 50%. And that's the 50 percentile. That is different from 50%. When we talk about 50% in school, you say, oh no, my child only scored a 50%. That's an F. That's different from a percentile. When you're talking about a percentile, you're talking about like the normal bell curve. 50% is right up here. It is what is the average proficiency score for a grade. So if your child is able to do what is expected at 50 percentile, they are right on grade level and exactly where they should be. So if, for example, if you look at first grade, 50 percentile, in the winter, which is where we are right now, your child should read 29 words correct per minute. In the spring, they should be able to read 60 words correct per minute. To accomplish going from 29 to 60 words, they're going to increase 1.9 words or 2 words per week. And so how do you put this chart to work at home? And so this is what we would recommend. As you begin to read with your child, the first thing you do each time y'all begin to read is you ask them, please do a 1-minute cold read for me. The difference between a cold read and a warm read is that a cold read means that the child has never seen the text before. It's the first time they've read it. You call a warm read something that they've seen before, they're a little familiar with, kind of like how you feel in a family, warm and toasty with each other. A cold read means you've never seen it before, you may or may not be comfortable. That's how we get our fluency scores, something you've never seen before. So ask them to read 1 minute, you count how many words they miss, and then at the end of the time of the 1 minute, you count how many words did they read in all, subtract how many they missed, and that is how many words correct per minute they are reading. As you do this every night, keep a chart. Like tonight, oh great, today, you're in first grade, today you read 18 words. Tomorrow you might read 19. The next day you might read 17. But the goal is, as they continue and they become more and more used to doing it, and you're reading with them every night, that you're adding 2 words per week. So this week they might only read 18 words, but next week hopefully they read 19 or 20. And then the next week we're hoping that it's 22. And that you keep on building until in the spring, May, you're up to 60 words per minute and your child is reading proficiently. And remember, proficiently means that they're meeting grade level expectations.
So we are going to tell you some ways that you can help with comprehension. One way is if your child is working on Achieve 3000, we have these question strategies. It gives them the type of the question, and then it gives them strategies to use to figure out how to answer that question. And this will be in your packet. You can also use this with a book. It goes over each skill and certain questions you can ask your child as they're reading. For example, if they are working on a novel, you could ask them, what is this mostly about? You could also ask them, what is most important? If you were going to write a summary about this page, what would you say? These are just different types of questions you can ask them, and it will help with their comprehension. Also, another way, you can play a game, make it more fun. This will also be in your packet. This is a comprehension dice game. Basically, where if you roll a certain number, it gives you a question type to ask your child. So, for example, if you roll a 3, you would tell your partner, I wonder, and then they would give you 3 examples from the text. I wonder, as I'm reading this page. If you roll a 6, you would retell 6 events or facts from the last 2 pages of the book you were reading. So this is just a way that you can make it fun, and you can work on it as a family.
Another aspect of reading with your child is vocabulary. And so what do you do when your child comes upon a word that they just don't know? Well, there are several things that we can do, and I'm sure you do them when you're reading yourself. First of all, you can say, is that word defined right after it? Often this happens and you'll see the word, a comma, and then the word's defined. And that is often in your nonfiction books. You will see your vocabulary that's tougher will be defined right after it's used. But in your fiction books, that often is not done. And so you have to use context clues. Context clues mean that you use the sentence before, the sentence the word's used in, and the sentence after to get yourself hints about what that word may mean. And it's kind of like inferring the meaning of a word. It won't tell you exact meaning, but it will give you something close enough that you can go on with reading the text because you have a close enough understanding of the word that you do continue to understand the text and its meaning. Those are some clues on how you can help your child with vocabulary.